Home is where connections are made, memories are formed, and ideas are born. And no one knows home better than NFM. Thanks for tuning in to I Am Home, the podcast that goes deeper than trends and dives into what it means to make your house a home.
Hello and welcome to I Am Home, the Home Life Best Life podcast. I'm Tyler Weisskopf, joined by my co-host who lights up a room like the first rays of morning sunshine. It's Becca Sudbeck.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi, Becca. And our other co-host, she's the human equivalent of a weighted blanket because she's so supportive and kind. It's Hilary Waltermath.
Hey.
Hi, Hilary. And this month, our theme is doing it this year, whatever that means for you. And today's topic is better sleep. Getting a good night's rest is critically important to your health, and there are a lot of us that can certainly do it better. So we've brought on a special guest to talk about it today from Tempur Sealy to share some advice. But before we get to that, let me tell you why we're even doing this podcast, and that's because NFM is more than just your everything home store. We're in the business of improving lifestyles because your home life should be your best life, and you can learn more at nfm.com. And our guest, I'm super stoked to introduce him. It's Greg Bieker, the Director of National Accounts at Tempur Sealy International. Greg, that is an awesome title.
12 years at it. You wake up and you don't know what you're going to do when you're in college, and you enter the sleep business and the bedding industry, and it's been a fun ride. 12 years and learned a lot, and excited to share a little bit of that with y'all today.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to build on your resume, and you can fill in any of the gaps that you think are important for listeners to know. You've been in the home furnishing industry, just like the whole industry, since 2010, but the last 12-ish, 13-ish, Tempur Sealy International Sales and Accounts, and you're award-winning account manager. Greg, I saw this. So you got account manager of the year. Look at you. As well as a CEO award, President's Club. I mean, Greg, really, I'd like to talk to an award-winning account director, Nasha. I mean, this is, again, so thrilled to have you here and honored to kind of talk to this subject of better sleep.
Yeah, we're excited. And you must have been stalking LinkedIn a little bit or something like that. So shout out to you, Tyler, for doing your homework. But I'm excited to be here with you today.
Excellent.
Obviously, Nebraska Furniture Mart is an excellent retailer and does some incredible things in the retail space and supports our products really well. And we're excited to bring some sleep innovation with you today and talk a little bit about that with customers.
Well, thanks, Greg. So let's just kind of start broad. Like how does sleep or the lack of it affect like our physical and mental health?
Yeah, and it can be a little scary and it can be a little exciting at the same time. When you step back and really try to understand what sleep does, and one of the most important things that, when we start in our industry, we as Americans spend more money trying not to sleep than trying to sleep. So when you think about energy drinks, sleep aids, coffee, we spend more money trying not to sleep and fixing our sleep that we didn't achieve, or bad sleep from prior nights before, than we do actually investing in our own sleep. And there's some things that we can do as Americans that really can put us on a path to not only better sleep, but a better tomorrow than today. And, we're going to hopefully share a few of those things with you today and get some folks excited about sleeping better versus trying not to sleep and fall asleep throughout their day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. Spending more.
Who's buying coffee in this room and, bang energy drinks and everything else? They're flying off the shelves, and it's Americans that are struggling to sleep, and our goal is to help them alleviate some of that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And that's good. That's a good frame of reference for people too, to think about, because I'm sure there's a lot of folks who are like, it just didn't happen for me last night, and I'm just going to keep cooking and don't stop to think about it. Like it's cheaper in the short run to look at like $5 a day for a cup of coffee than to think about like how I could have invested that $5 into either the right mattress or like better window curtains or whatever you need to kind of have that ideal setup. So good frame of reference.
Kind of a unique thing, Tyler. Americans as a whole across the globe are the most sleep deprived folks of anywhere else in the world. And, I think America, the culture, takes a little bit of pride in go as fast as we can. And that isn't the case across the world. We are the most sleep deprived country in the world, and we're to blame. And our goal at Tempur Sealy and Nebraska Furniture Mart is to try to help, get back on track to a healthier and better lifestyle for not only Americans but abroad as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How many people have you heard brag about like how little
Right.
asleep they can
I can run on
function
5 hours.
Yeah. Ooh,
But
cool.
me never.
Cool, bro.
Yeah.
Not I.
Me either.
So let's build on that a little bit. What are some of the common misconceptions about sleep that you often encounter?
I think, when we talk about Hilary, she said it best. We're a culture who are excited about telling people we can go on 5 or 6 hours, or we didn't sleep last night, but we just work, work, work. And that's great.
Mhm.
But what we need to find a way is, if you're going to get 5 hours, if you're going to get 7 hours, if you're going to get 9 hours, how do we find a way to make those the best 5, 7, or 9 hours possible? And there's a lot of trips and, takes and trips to try to help with that. But it's hard for Americans to understand that and then change the lifestyle. So kind of misconceptions, right? So as we look at, is the phone a big issue? It is, and we're all addicted to it, and, scrolling TikTok for an hour, 30 minutes before bed, or Instagram, or whatever it is. The hardest thing is going to be to put the phone away, to put the screens away, at 7:30, 8 o'clock when we get ready for bed at 9:30 or 10. And, one of the biggest things is, well, I got 7 hours, I should be good. Well, what kind of 7 hours did you get? Did you start it at 1 a.m. and sleep till 8? Or did you start it at 8 and sleep till, 4 or 5 in the morning? And Americans get up at different times all across the country, whether you're on Eastern time or Western time or whatever it is. The change in pace of sleep, the biggest thing that you can do to improve your sleep today is consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And that's starting with, what time is bedtime? And as silly as that sounds, we're all toddlers and we're all young kids at heart. And you understand, when you put a kid to bed every day at 8:30 and they get in this routine, what happens? They start to sleep better. They start to get consistency in their sleep. And that's a huge thing, and as Americans, probably the biggest misconception is, well, I got 8 hours, I should be good. Well, what did those 8 hours look like, and when did you get them?
Yeah, the quality of those 8 hours, and part of that is like you were saying, having solid sleep schedule and making sure that you're consistent with it, and the tools that you use to make sure that you are getting that ideal sleep. I love that.
I need someone to sleep train me.
Yeah. Oh, do you not have a set bedtime, Hilary?
I've got somebody that does help me out with that. Like, regardless of where I'm at in my getting ready for bed phase, the lights are off by 9 p.m.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Becca, do you have a? Yeah.
I've spent the last, I would say, couple of years really trying to figure out my sleep, because I've like gone to several like seminars and places where they're talking about like health and wellness, and like they say, like, as Americans, like, we've got it all wrong. Like, sleep is the foundation of everything. So like, it's more important than like exercise, nutrition. Like, that is literally the foundation. So I've spent a lot of time trying to improve the quality of my sleep, and I've got lots of reminders. Like, but like, I have like, I wear a Whoop band, and it tells you like, every day, like, your sleep, how much you slept, the quality of your sleep. It reminds you, like, going to bed on time. And like, lots of days it's like at 4 p.m. It's like, start getting ready for bed. And like, well, not yet, but I try, and it's definitely helped.
Yeah. Very revealing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Greg, what are so we've kind of shared a little bit, Becca kind of dug into some of the tips that have been helpful for her. What are some top tips for improving sleep quality that you are typically preaching at Tempur Sealy?
Yeah, and I think probably the biggest thing is, let's understand what sleep looks like and what quality sleep looks like. So, be known to some folks, maybe this is new, but the first, call it half of the night, is all about deep sleep. So sleep's built into two things: deep sleep and REM sleep. And if you don't know the difference, I'll try to make it fairly simple for you. Deep sleep rejuvenates the body. So whether you're muscle fatigue, aches and pains, things like that, your deep sleep and those cycles are 15 to 40 minutes, happen in the first half of the night and rejuvenate the body. The back half of the night is really geared towards REM sleep, and it's all about rejuvenating the mind, rapid eye movement. And as you think about that, you maybe slept great in the first half, but you're just not as sharp the next day. It's like, why can't I remember this? I should know this. I'm just not as sharp as I normally would be. Well, maybe you missed out on that ultra important REM sleep that happens maybe from 1 to 6:30 or 7. That's where you dream. That's where your neurological system comes back to life, if you will. On the front end, man, I'm just gassed. My body, I just don't have energy. That's that first half of the night when you're getting deep sleep and your muscles are rejuvenating themselves. So our goal as an industry leader is to try to find a way to give you rejuvenation of your body in the deep sleep, but also keep you asleep for longer and reduce the amount of times you wake up and toss and turn throughout the night to get you into REM sleep more dreams, more rapid eye movement, and ultimately a better sleep for not only your body, but your mind as well when you wake up in the morning.
I haven't heard it broken down that easily. That makes a ton of sense. That makes a ton of sense.
And those windows, 15 to 30 to 45 minutes are really the windows that you get REM and deep sleep. So the average person will toss and turn 22 times throughout the night, which you don't think about it because maybe half the times you don't come out of your sleep cycle,
right?
But you do toss and turn. So our goal is to find products and sleep solutions that reduce the amount of times that you toss and turn and relieve those pressure points and things that cause you to switch positions or toss and turn and bring yourself out of deep or REM sleep.
Is the tossing and turning like the main thing that is breaking you out of those two cycles that you just kind of described?
Yeah, so great question. This is something that we try to educate Americans on every day is what are the 4 biggest robbers of sleep? And Hannah, Becca, you're probably going to be able to relate to some of these, but temperature is one of the biggest. Too hot, too cold. A lot of times in your microclimate between you and your comforter, if you get too warm, what do? Wake up, throw a leg out, kick your sheets off, whatever you do, but you've came out and that's an active movement of thinking about doing something that's brought you out of sleep. Next thing is motion transfer. And we think about married couples across the country. The biggest robber of sleep for married couples is feeling your partner move, partner disturbance. My wife or my husband kicks and, moves all around. Well, therefore I wake up and now we're both out of sleep. From there, it's pressure relief. If I lay on my side, if I lay on my hips and they start to fall asleep and that mattress pushes back against my body, your body is naturally going to relieve that pressure, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to roll from your hips to your side, to your back, to your stomach, and you're going to flip-flop like a fish. And then the last thing is support. So if you don't have the proper back support, it causes aches and pains, which ultimately causes you to readjust your position, wake up stiff and sore, and not get the night that you were hoping for. So temperature, motion transfer, pressure relief, and support are your big 4 that rob Americans every day of sleep.
It's a great breakdown. I'm curious, like for sleep position, I feel like that's one of those ones that feels like comes up quite a bit, like sleeping. If you're a slight sleeper, or if you sleep on your back, like is that kind of stuff important, or does that not really matter?
So we always preach that sleeping on your back is the healthiest way for you to sleep. Your face is on the front of your body. It's the healthiest way for you to sleep. But what keeps people from doing that? Snoring, lower back pain. They're not comfortable. So what do? They first roll to their side, kind of in the fetal position almost, and they put a pillow between their legs, or they do some things like that. And that's fine. But the shoulders and hips, if it's the incorrect mattress, need somewhere to go. And if that mattress is fairly firm and doesn't give your shoulders and hips somewhere to go, then your next move is onto your stomach. Well, your face is on the front of your body. You're not intended to sleep on your stomach, but people do it all the time because it's what's comfortable to them or what gets them out of pain. So if we could have it our way for every American across the country, we would create a sleep system that allows them to sleep on their back, whether that be a little bit elevated with an adjustable base or some sort of technology in the industry to get them back to becoming back sleepers, which is the healthiest way for them to sleep.
And pillows play a role in that, right? That
huge. Question: what's the percentage of a sleep system that's a pillow? How much of your body is on the pillow?
Head and neck. I mean, is
fairly important portions of our body. Right?
Yeah.
So we, 20 to 25% of your sleep surface is on the pillow and not on the mattress. So an emphasis on a good pillow is very key. And one of the things that we try to educate staff in stores when they're fitting someone for the right pillow is look at spinal alignment. If you're on your back and your head's tilted pretty heavily up, the pillow's probably too thick. If you roll to your side and your neck and shoulders are not aligned and your head is below or above your spinal line, we need to make an adjustment with that pillow to get your spine in alignment. So ultimately, we reduce that pressure point, reduce those pain, and we keep that spine in alignment with that pillow.
Yeah, I bought a pillow, pillows, I guess, recently. And I was like, I don't know, before I just bought whatever. Like, it's just like pillows were all the same. And then I was working with the salesperson downstairs who actually like made me lay down. I was like, I don't need to lay it. Like, this one's fine. And then lo and behold, he was right. Like, found out that like, based on the way I sleep, like there's certainly things that would be much more comfortable. And it has made the world of difference. Just like investing in a better pillow versus just like buying whatever I like first came across, and I felt like the price was reasonable.
Hilary, I feel like you've talked about like trying to sleep, to Greg's point, trying to like force yourself to sleep on your back so that you can have like that ideal sleep. Was pillow part of that conversation, or like how did
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure I want to cite something really credible, but it was a TikTok, to be perfectly honest.
Credible.
Yes. That like the way you kind of like even like position your pillow like behind your neck. And so like finding a pillow that allowed me to be able to do that kind of like, because I think what I was needing is to feel like secure. And I think that's why I was like sleeping on my stomach and like having my arms tucked under me. Like I needed that like snug feeling. And so finding a pillow that kind of like cradled my head that would prevent me from rolling or looking for that security, and like appropriately my weighted blanket like has made me feel more secure. And I'm not tossing and turning throughout the night like I was before. And I'm not having like hip pain randomly throughout the day from that like pressure of like laying on my side or just being like, I don't like, imagine like sitting kind of twisted for 8 hours. Like, I mean, that's essentially like the crazy position you're in when you're in your bed. Like it's
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Good way to think about it. Greg, is it weird to like have to feel like you're teaching grown adults to do this kind of stuff? Because like we all feel like, we know things. I've been sleeping for 20, 30 years, 40 years. Like why do I have to like rethink these kinds of things today?
Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to, yes, you've been sleeping, but have you been sleeping well, right? And what can that look like? And what does that look like from a day-to-day standpoint if we can get you sleeping well? And how much better of a person can you be? How much healthier can you be? How much more energy can you have? So, I've been living, but have you been living well? Kind of there's a difference, right? So, Hilary made a good point. And one of the biggest things that we are trying to address as an industry is, it's uncomfortable sometimes to go in and look for a pillow or to look for a new mattress, specifically as a female. It's unique. It's not necessarily private. There's a lot of folks around. Do I feel comfortable laying on this mattress?
It is. It's like you're in like, very
you're fishbowl a bit, right? So we're doing things constantly within our industry to try to educate sales staff, not only at retail stores, but just give a different privacy level for consumers as they shop, to where we can meet them where they feel comfortable, to where they can lay on a mattress, they can lay on a pillow and feel like they can give it 5 or 10 minutes to really try it, versus what we call the boomerang effect, where you lay down on the bed and you don't really want to lay down and you say, oh, it's a little too firm, or it's a little too, you're just saying you don't really want to try it in this environment. Certainly. And then the other side of that is
you really need to spend like 5 or 10 minutes, at least like to really see if that's the right mattress for you or not. I mean, you can't lay on it for 20, 30, 40 seconds. Like it's not enough.
Yeah.
And
Like
Becca,
had I done that, I would have got the wrong pillow.
We see all the time is they lay on their back. And I said, do you sleep on your back? Well, no, not really. Let's try it, how we're going to actually lay on this mattress and how we're going to spend 8 hours on it. So that's a big deal. But on the other side, I'm not here to preach buy a new bed and that's going to fix everything. We can do some things that don't require you to spend a lot of money to improve your sleep. Consistency, going to bed at a certain time, shutting off phones and screens, within 2 hours of bedtime, trying to find ways to get you to 7 or 8 hours and to do it in a deep, restful manner, scents, closing blinds, making sure it's dark in your room. There's a lot of things that consumers can do outside of just going and buying something new to improve their sleep. And that's very important as well.
I'm going to say the biggest thing that's helped me is I don't have a clock in our room.
Oh, wow. Becca.
Yeah. And honestly, it's like, because like if I would get up at like 4 a.m, I'm like, well, I only have like an hour to sleep. Like I might as well just get up. So like now I literally have no idea what time it is. And I just lay in my bed until my alarm goes off.
The casino theory,
What time do y'all get up? What's kind of your personal sleep cycle? What would you say, Tyler? When do you go to bed? When do you have, is it consistent? Is it not even close? Is it?
I've been going to bed at 9. I read for like an hour and then typically we'll like try to sleep at 10. And then I've been getting up at like 5:30.
Okay.
Yeah. Goal is to be asleep by 9, usually like crawling into bed at 8, reading, maybe watching a little TV. I know. And then I get up at 4:15. I get up really early.
4:15.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
geez.
I'm an early gym goer, and so I need to go to bed earlier.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's it.
Becca?
Mhm.
I try and be like asleep by 9:30. I try and get in my bed at 9. Definitely no TV, no phones. And then I get up usually around like 6:15 now. So I'm trying to get a solid like 9 hours in my bed.
Good
Yeah,
for you.
Becca's got it figured out.
Yeah.
Greg, weaknesses that you see, and I guess as a way to kind of wrap us up, like just give us as the three hosts here, like the best answers based on what you've just heard from us so far. Can you diagnose us
The best answers in terms of
what we could probably do, what you think that we're
Yeah.
doing well, what you think we need to improve on? Maybe that's.
Yeah, I think you're doing great with consistency, right? Like one of the things, and I'm incredibly impressed because you're out of the normal. So thank you for valuing sleep, but the normal is not consistency. The normal is, well, my kids stayed up late and I went to bed at 11:30. And then last night I went to bed at 9. And then I got on, Yellowstone and got on a kick of that and Netflix for a couple hours, or Paramount, and watched it till 1. I mean, the reality is not typical. So I want to commend both of you, or all three of you, for your consistency on your sleep. But again, it goes back to, can you do that over a long period of time? And can you reduce? People are going to have days where they go and have fun with their friends or do whatever. Those are okay. Those are great. But the key is, can you get to that 7 and 8 hours every night? And if you can, that's wonderful. But if you can't, there's a lot of products in this industry that can help regulate temperature, hot or cold. Can help you with snoring, can help you with partner disturbance, can, create different technologies from springs to hybrids to pressureless sleep systems, all of those things in the industry. That's our job. If you can't fix the things on your own, that's where we come into play and we can help you out.
I appreciate that, Greg. This has been so enlightening. It's really been a dream. And I'm going to go forward with that terrible pun as a way to wrap this up. Thank you again for being here.
Yeah, happy to be on. Happy to help Americans across the country try to sleep a little bit better tonight than they did the night before, and appreciate you all's time.
Yeah. And I want to thank, of course, our co-hosts here, Hilary and Becca. I want to thank our producers, Scott and Ann. And don't forget to visit us at nfm.com, where you can shop all Tempur Sealy products as well as all sorts of ideas and inspiration for sleep and everything else. And we'll just wrap up as we usually do. Remember, home is what you make it.
Thanks for joining us today for I Am Home with Tyler Weisskopf, Hilary Waltemath, and Becca Sudbeck. No one knows home quite like NFM. So if you'd like more information on home design at NFM, please check out nfm.com and leave us a review on the podcast platform of your choice.